Before social media was created, there was no such a thing as an influencer. But now, of course, being an influencer is a legit business venture, and it's getting very competitive in all of the popular platforms. Metaverse is offering you another chance. Except there is one caveat. Metaverse is not quite here yet, at least not completely. So how can I become an influencer in the metaverse, you ask?
Welcome to Personal Finance Cat, where I share my personal take on personal finance.
Hello, welcome to Personal Finance Cat. Today we're going to break down the 3 ways of influencing in the metaverse, even without the metaverse being completely here yet. To start, let's hear some statistics first. According to AJ Marketing, 2022 data states that 56% of influencers actually participate in the metaverse at the moment. Meanwhile, 51% are thinking about monetizing metaverse content. So clearly, there is a significant cross between influencers and metaverse already. The same post by AJ Marketing listed the top 17 metaverse influencers to follow. But to be honest, how do you even define metaverse influencers? Well, first of all, what is an influencer? According to Lifestyle Asia, anyone who can influence demography is an influencer. In the world of digital marketing, influencers create the demand for a product or service by sharing positive news about them with their followers on social media accounts, consequently increasing the product's reach. So bottom line, an influencer doesn't have to be a real person. Therefore, the metaverse opens up more possibilities. If you don't quite know what the metaverse is, well, neither do I, or anybody else for that matter. But chances are that you have heard about the buzz a lot. And maybe that's why you're listening to this episode. I've talked about the definition, or lack thereof, of the metaverse in some prior episodes. But I found a funnier one for today, according to SensoriumXR, for starters. Defining the metaverse is a big ask. We can all agree that there's been plenty of yada yada, but at the end of the day, would you be able to explain to your grandpa over Sunday roast what a metaverse really is? Since we're talking about something that doesn't exist yet, it can get confusing. Let's keep it simple. A metaverse is a shared virtual space that is hyper-realistic, immersive, and interactive, thanks to the use of augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR technology. So there you go. Metaverse is just this awesome thing. At least we hope it to be. After some research, here are some ways that you or your creation can influence in the metaverse. Or should I say, about the metaverse, since, again, it is not quite here yet. Number 1, create metaverse-related content in 2D social media. This is probably the easiest way to be a metaverse influencer. And wink, wink, it is what I'm doing now. Even though metaverse is not totally here, nothing prevents you from just talking about it. Again, the building blocks of the metaverse are coming out, and at a pretty fast speed, especially in the gaming industry. I was just listening to the Joe Rogan Experience podcast featuring Mark Zuckerberg, which took place in August this year. Mark Zuckerberg, or Zucks, love him or hate him, really has his finger on the pulse of what matters in quote-unquote human connection. Hindsight is 2020, but how he grew Facebook from a novice app for college kids to a revolutionary, super profitable ad business, and his foresight in predicting the importance of Instagram and WhatsApp, and hence the acquisitions thereof, are very impressive. Anyway, Zucks talked very enthusiastically about what's coming in VR headsets, AR glasses, wearables, etc. My view is that this is another huge yet necessary step for Meta, formerly known as Facebook, to survive and thrive. Due to the recent Apple iOS privacy change, which disrupts the behind-the-scenes mechanics of many mobile ads, Facebook's 2022 sales is expected to be reduced by about $10 billion. Therefore, Zuck's play, I believe, is to get into hardware so that the company does not need to be subject to tech giant competitors like Apple and Google. I believe Meta is the most advanced in developing the related technologies for the metaverse. And some of these technologies sound so futuristic. It is unbelievable. Take a listen.
The concepts of virtual reality and augmented reality are sort of on two different development paths, but they're obviously fundamentally interrelated, right? So virtual reality, it's kind of possible to build today, right? Quest 2, it's pretty popular, doing well. Hopefully the new one that comes out, I think it's a pretty big step above it. But you can build that today. There's a lot of new technology that we've researched that goes into that. AR is a pretty different beast because what you really want to get to is not a headset. You want to get to something that's like a normal looking pair of glasses. It won't be like a wireframe because you'll need to fit some electronics in it, right? You'll basically need to have a computer in there, and speakers, and a microphone, and batteries, and a laser projector. And then the display, which we and a lot of other folks think is going to be this technology called waveguides, which is completely different from screens. Because it's a screen, it's like you're looking at a thing, and basically you're looking at like all the pixels that are on the screen. The thing that's different about a waveguide is it'll actually be see-through, so you'll be able to see the world through it, and then it'll display holograms and be able to place them at different depths in the world.
So bottom line, there is so much you can do with just 2D social media about the metaverse. Reporting progress on the technological developments, reviewing new headsets and other wearables, discussing controversial issues, etc. Some of the biggest influencers who use this angle are Matthew Ball, Jake Brawatsky, and Thrillseeker. Thrillseeker, for example, is a channel dedicated to spreading virtual reality and augmented reality. It provides news, reviews, comedy, and in-depth analysis on different facets of VR/AR.
Well, today we're going on a trip to Finland to the Varjo headquarters to take a look at the absolute most cutting-edge virtual reality hardware on the planet.
Number 2, create virtual influencers in 2D social media. As I mentioned before, anybody or anything can be an influencer as long as they have the ability to influence. Did you know that there are influencers who are completely virtual yet have a massive following? The most famous of all virtual influencers is Leo Michaela, who made her debut on Instagram in April 2016 and has millions of followers today. Michaela is presented as a 19-year-old girl who would never age, maybe because she's digital. Time magazine named her among the 25 most influential people on the internet in 2018. Some large companies have also adopted this strategy and created virtual influencers to help with promoting their businesses. Hugo Boss, for example, announced at the beginning of the year that 2 virtual influencers, Ima and Nobody Sausage, will be part of their spring/summer 2022 campaigns. While Ima is a self-described virtual girl interested in Japanese culture, film, and art, Nobody Sausage is nothing but a cartoonish sausage. The latter, however, has over 4.4 million followers on Instagram, which is a testimony to the incredible popularity that digital influencers can enjoy. Nobody Sausage is not the only non-human influencer. There are others like Caballo Perro, a quote-unquote straight Latin horse/dog immigrant, Bofo the bear, and Geico Gecko, whose job is saving people's money. If you are someone who is technical and can create a virtual influencer, go for it. Artificial intelligence, or AI technologies, have also made it so much easier to create virtual 3D beings now. If you have a great idea in mind, try it out. It may be the next Leo Michaela or Nobody Sausage. Number 3, get on virtual worlds like Decentraland and start influencing. Some people may call Decentraland a metaverse, but it is technically not. Again, even though there is still no official definition or consensus in the definition, most people, especially technical ones, would say that the metaverse is interconnected, much like the internet. There is no Google Internet or Facebook Internet. It is the internet. That said, platforms like Decentraland and Fortnite are good places to start. Create an avatar that represents your essence. It can be a replica of the real you or a fantasized version of you. That said, don't sweat too much about it because you can always change it. Get on these platforms and start influencing. Decentraland, for example, has these events regularly. See if you can volunteer or get invited so that you can be the first of its kind to reach people in the metaverse, aka being a metaverse influencer. For example, if you're an NFT enthusiast, you can showcase your NFTs on platforms like Decentraland. I'll link in the show notes a video that walks you through how to do that. The video teaches you how to display your NFTs in a frame in Decentraland using the Builder, which is an app. You can create scenes in the Builder even if you don't own land in Decentraland, apparently. Bonus tip. If you are the type of influencers whose creative avenue is suited for getting people together in a virtual space, for example, coaching, podcasting, public speaking, education, stand-up comedy, you get the idea. You may be able to use the platforms I mentioned in my last episode called Mozilla Hubs and Engage. Both of these platforms support virtual collaboration by simulating being in the same space. You can join the virtual session together, either with a virtual reality headset like Meta's Quest, or just with your computer or pad or phone. I will link some tutorials on how to use each platform in the show notes. There are some real-life examples of how people are already doing this on various apps/platforms. In the Zuckerberg episode on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Zucks mentioned a touching story about this woman who lost her son and chose to do stand-up comedy in the metaverse with, of course, the Quest headset as an outlet to get over her grief. All right, friends, those are just some of my ideas on how to get on the metaverse to influence. Have you come across any other means? If so, please share it with me by commenting on my YouTube channel. Metaverse is coming, and it's coming fast. I'm sure there are and will be many ways we can get on there and make an impact. That's what influencers do, wouldn't you say? Thank you so much for listening to this episode until the end. As always, if you find this episode helpful, please leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or leave a like or comment on YouTube. I would also appreciate it if you can share this episode with your friends and family if you think they may be interested. All right, I'm signing off for now. Until next time.